Let's go to New York. And it is an historic day. Opening arguments will be heard in the first ever trial of a former U.S. president. Donald Trump spoke to the media before heading back to the Manhattan courtroom. Here's what he had to say.
Election interference, everybody knows it. I'm here instead of being able to be in Pennsylvania and Georgia and lots of other places campaigning. And it's very unfair. Fortunately, the poll numbers are very good. They've been going up because people understand what's going on. This is a witch hunt and it's a shame. And it comes out of Washington. It's in coordination with Washington, everything, including the DA's office. It's in coordination with Washington. I just want people to understand that this is done for purposes of hurting the opponent of the worst president in the history of our country.
And joining us now is Judge Stephen Haberfeld, a former assistant Watergate special prosecutor. Judge, thank you as always for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, this is the first criminal trial of a former American president, I guess we should say at this point. How much does that weigh on this trial for the judge, the jurors, all those people that are involved in it?
I believe that it does carry a substantial weight and effect, as you suggest. And I think as a result of that, he has received to this point, before the trial has begun, a treatment which is different than that which has been accorded any other defendant in American trials of this or any type, including giving him increased flexibility and opportunity that would not be in any way tolerated by a judge in any similar situation. Similarly, I think now that the trial has begun, I think that both what the jurors have been previously aware of and now that they are going to be in the same courtroom with former President Trump, that there will now be sort of a humanizing effect, but at the same time recognizing that they're involved in an important trial and they will be from time to time looking over to the defendant's table and seeing not just the defendant, but a former president of the United States.
It is it's quite a moment for them. Opening statements are expected today. What do you think the defense is going to hammer at?
Well, I think that the prosecution is doing its opening statement now. The defense is yet to open, so that what I'm about to say is sort of an anticipation of and in some way guessing at what they're going to say. But I think that what they're going to focus on is that this defendant is entitled to a presumption of innocence, that the jurors should be very, very careful in listening to the evidence, which they say is going to be presented by the prosecution in a very complex and possibly confusing way, with witnesses who are not telling the truth and who are changing their stories, and that they should keep a very open mind and to be very, very attuned to the fact that the prosecution has the burden of proving that this former president is guilty of the criminal charges beyond a reasonable doubt.
And now these opening statements are only going to be, it's expected maybe an hour each. Is that a short amount of time for an opening statement for a trial like this?
I don't think so. And I think that in this particular case, the lawyers have indicated to the judge that the prosecution's opening will be approximately 40 minutes long, and that the defense will be approximately 20 to 25 minutes long. And I think that the prosecution has already outlined its case to be one for a criminal conspiracy to suppress information which was adverse to this president or candidate for president in 2016, including the sexual allegations of Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels, and that the method that was used of catch and kill by the National Enquirer in the instance of Stormy Daniels was not a payment by AMI, which was the National Enquirer publication, but was actually paid by Michael Cohen, reimbursed in that amount plus his tax bite for making that payment at the direction of former President Trump, and that was a felony as well as misdemeanors by the falsification of the documents. And I think that is sort of a key summary which the prosecution has laid out thus far.